Welcome to today's episode. Today I have a very special guest. Welcome to the episode Exclusion and Inclusion for Dummies. I am Dominic and this is my guest from Mexico, Juan. Welcome, Juan.
Welcome.
Hi. Today's topic is understanding social exclusion, delving into the nuances of social inclusion, exclusion, and its impact on young people. So, Juan, I don't really know about the topic, so I think it will be great if you explain me a little bit of how it works or why is it important for us. So can you tell me what is social exclusion?
I think that social exclusion have many phases. For example, the first one, the social exclusion could looking like, for example, person with disabilities. Social exclusive, it's mean them that we excluded them from our society.
I see.
But we have also the another part of social excluded. For example, person without a competitions.
What does it mean?
I'm trying to explain. For example, when we starting our career, before when we go into school, we haven't experience and we have to collect a knowledge. We have to collect experience to go to work and making them a career. So that's also a social exclusive where we can need them to showing us what we have to work ourselves before we make a career.
So basically we put them through the process of school so they can be useful in future. For example, we teach them maths and etc.
For example.
And then we put them into work. I see. So for example, when someone is disabled or like is blind, is it the same process for them also?
No, it's not the same process.
I see. So why is it different, or like how is it different?
Because person with disabilities, we work about our empathy, and if we haven't empathy, we are starting be excluded society. I mean about social excluded that we can also work it between for ourselves. For our competitions, for example, when I'm going to school and I'm not good to learn in math studies, that excluded me to working, for example, like a professor of math.
I see.
And that's showing me my hierarchy in society. So it's the other part of phase of social excluded. It's not mean that, for example, it's opposite to social included that we are equal. No, we are not equal. We are different. So social excluded also showing us that we are different and what we have a potential. For example, I haven't the potential to be a professor of math, but I have a potential to be, for example, a professor of medicine.
I see.
Yeah.
So basically you have sort of like different talents or different traits and
it's not equal, it's different. It's totally different.
Yeah, of course. Like, for example, this phone is different to that phone. So, like, you're just not going to use this phone for when you're going to be working at a construction because it's going to break. You're going to use something that's more durable.
For example, it's better to not join me to be a mechanics of your cars because if I repair your cars, I don't trust myself, my competitions to be a mechanics to repairing your cars. But that's mean social exclusive, that we are not equal, we are different, we have a different talents and let's do it. Let's improving it.
Thank you for your answer. And sort of, if we elaborate on this idea, what is the result of improving social exclusion and inclusion?
It's very dangerous because we're creating then most egoistical personalities in our society who will thinking about just themselves. They starting be selfish. They think that their career is the most important, that their field is just the best in life, in society, and they thinking that the rest people are not useful in society. The social exclusion, which improving egoistical persons, burning ideology like a fascist, for example.
When we don't include empathy into understanding of others that have sort of disabilities or have mental states that rest of, for example, people don't, right?
Would you repeat?
For example, when we create environment that is egoistic, that means we don't use empathy to understand the people who are different to us.
Yeah, Exactly.
I see.
I'm not mean about just a person with disability. I mean about people who are different than us.
Just
for
different,
example,
yes. Yeah,
for
I see.
example, or like we talked before, I'm good in, for example, medicine. So I'm better than you, professor of medicine, math. Yeah.
I see, yeah. And for example, I could be better at, for example, singing or dancing than you are, because I practiced it a bit.
For example, and
I
we
see.
have that's showing us how people creating a war. The war is not to mean that we
not
go
understanding of
into
other.
battle.
Yeah.
We can battle through the emotion
Yeah.
because we think that I'm better than you.
I see.
No, I'm different than you, but it's not mean that I'm better than you.
It's also like it happens when there is person A has one goal and the person B has a different goal, so that's why clash. And when they don't have empathy, understanding for each other, it might create problems and result in a conflict. I see.
Uh-huh.
So how do you think we can improve our empathy so we can all live more in harmony and also improve our lives in general?
We have to talk about this. Also, we have to learn more about social competence, like assertive position. I think a good example is a pandemic time. During this pandemic, we can observe a lot of selfish people who was sarcastic to this case.
Yeah, making mockery of it, yeah.
For example, and they smiling of this restriction, but when we start to showing them that it's not going about a pandemic, it's going about, for example, my mother who can scare this situation, who want to
Who's afraid of it.
who are afraid, yeah, for example, of this situation, and showing that it's about our family, it's about my person who I'm love.
Yeah, people who you care
Please
about.
respect it.
Yeah.
I understand that you don't believe it. I understand that you sarcastic,
Yeah.
showing your position
yeah.
of in this case, but please respect our families.
Exactly.
That's
Sort of
talking and assertive.
Exactly. So like, have your opinion and don't like put it in my face also. Like you have your opinion, I have mine. Let's just be rational people and just like respect each other.
It's good to be different. It's good to have different ways, but we have to talking.
Exactly. So, speaking of talking, this is our episode sponsor right over here.
Old Spice, your spice. Rub it in.
Thanks a lot to our sponsor. It really helped us. And I would like to thank my guests a lot and that you came that long way here. And I have a final question for you. What do you think is the moral of social inclusion and exclusion and what we can take away from it?
I think the moral is that social exclusion have many faces, and we have to think more rational and looking the opportunities to do good way to cooperate each other.
I see. That's great. That's brilliant. Thank you very much. And so we can take away something for us.